I think there's a lot of great lessons that can be learned from camping when it comes to being prepared for emergencies. You certainly learn the value of water when you're out there, and you've got to filter your own water, carry your own water. Same thing goes with food, right? You can only eat whatever you carry in, and that food runs out pretty quickly. So you also need a way to cook all that stuff, right? And I think having some stored water at home, some stored food is great, but you need a plan for how to cook that stuff when the power's off. If you're fortunate enough to have a gas stove, that's awesome. That may or may not be working during a disaster. Another great solution would be a barbecue, right? But where I live in an apartment downtown Vancouver, that's not really an option. I believe there's a bylaw that prohibits you from barbecuing on your balcony. So, of course, we like to follow the law. However, that doesn't mean we shouldn't still be prepared, right? So, here's my solution. It's basically the MSR Pocket Rocket Stove. This is a awesome backpacking stove, and I think it's very popular, so I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen it before. It comes in this cool triangle container, which is very space efficient, and you see how it fits in there. It's a nice little stove, very light to carry. It's 85 grams. I don't know what that is in ounces, but it's not a lot, probably like 3 or 4 ounces or something like that. And it costs about $40 where I am, which is extremely reasonable. And actually, I have to set a reminder for myself to pick up an extra of these. If there's some piece of gear that you really, really like and, it's indispensable, it wouldn't hurt to have a second copy of it for sure. But, I'm sure a lot of you have probably used backpacking stoves before, but you just kind of screw it on the container there, you flick open the switch, you turn the knob to the left, and some gas will leak out, you just light it on fire and you're good to go, right? So yeah, this is, I've used this probably on 15 or so different camping and backpacking trips, and it's really awesome. It boils about 1 liter of water, I think in about 8 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that. And the website says that one of these canisters will give you 60 minutes of cooking time at full blast. So I've got some extra fuel here, of course, and that is just one of those things like food storage. Whenever you go to the grocery store, pick up an extra can of soup or an extra can of this or that, and pretty soon you've got a cupboard full of cans, right? And your food storage is good to go. Same thing with the fuel canisters. Whenever I go to the camping store, if I happen to think about it, maybe I'll just grab an extra couple of these fuel canisters and throw them in the closet, and they're good to go. I don't think these expire, at least not to the best of my knowledge. So it's a really nice compact way to store some cooking potential, right? Of course, you can also disinfect water by boiling. That's another handy thing to do if need be. But what do you do when all the fuel runs out, right? It is limited, of course. Well, I mean, if you've got a pot, you can always make a fire, right? That's why we practice fire making so often. Speaking of pots, actually, this is my backpacking pot system, and it fits one of these canisters pretty awesome. It just fits perfectly in there, so you save a little bit of space in the pack, and that's great. But yeah, I'm just planning to do another camping trip this weekend, getting packed up and going through my gear. So I thought I would just throw together a quick video to show you my solution for cooking at home if need be. One thing I should mention though is to do this in a well-ventilated area, because this does give off carbon monoxide gas, and if you do it in a poorly ventilated area, you could experience some problems. Also, I think that in a grid down situation, things like curtains and whatnot, like I anticipate a lot of fires. So if you're not used to having open flame in the house, which a lot of us are not anymore, frankly, it sounds silly, but that's true. Exercise a lot of caution. Me personally, I would probably go out on the balcony with these guys, or at least open the window and put it on the kitchen counter or something. Good ventilation, be extra careful.